Are you eating? Can you hear me okay? Unmute. Because yesterday I was having all that speaker problem.
You mean, yeah, on Monday?
Okay.
Now you're gone.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there you are. I see you and I can hear you.
Oh, good. Hey, everybody. How are you guys? Oh, Pamela, you were my hero. Cindy, look at you. Lanny.
And Victoria is going on Friday. She'll be there.
Oh, good. Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Oh, I got to change my name.
Thank you.
I have to change my name to Tom Chanel. To Marianne. I'm sorry. No. I'm Tom all day long. Sometimes I just have to be myself, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
All right. Are you guys just having a blast with this 65 and alive here?
Definitely.
I keep starting over.
Oh, I know. Tom, what was Tom? He was talking about that today.
He did.
Groundhog Day.
Oh, Pam, I can barely hear you.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day, right? Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow is hump day, so we got Groundhog Day, start over. Rewound. What's that? All right. Well, we're going to get started here in a few minutes.
It's just all a learning experience, don't you think?
I know.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, I want to share some of that with you guys because, I think that for me, I've been seeing some very interesting things in my process here.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Miss Amy.
How are you?
There's Melissa.
Hang in there.
There you go. Gary's on there.
What are you eating?
I know. What are you eating?
You don't want to know.
You know what? I have to have some of our little peppermint dots because I had a little something earlier.
We don't want your stinky breath on the screen.
I know. I don't want you guys. I don't know what. You guys, last night, I don't know what was going on. My speaker wasn't working. And I wanted to restart my computer. And Tom's like, you can't because we're like in the middle of this thing. And I was the, person on there. Anyway, so I had to hook up with the phone. But my computer, like every time I selected, like tried to mute somebody, the little dial was like going and going and going and going and going and going and going. And then I'd like finally get to mute them. And then when people were talking, I was trying to select them and the dial was going and going and going. I was like, oh my goodness. I felt like I was moving in slow-mo. I felt like I was a sloth. Hello, Dr. Lisa. Welcome. Oh, we got lots of fun people on here tonight. That's good. That is awesome. All right, we got about another minute and a half. Does anybody want to say hi or anything else?
Hi. See, when people usually say that, I tell them not at the current moment.
Right. I used to have this friend of mine and I'd be like, so how are you doing? He goes, oh, I'm fair to partly cloudy.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
This is different doing it on the computer.
Yeah. Do you like it
didn't.
better?
How do you usually do it?
Do you do it on your
Usually
phone?
on my phone, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness.
Gary. Gary's getting settled in. All right. And then Chris's iPhone. I'm not really sure what we're seeing there with Chris. All right. This will be fun. All right, you guys. So Tom's going to be on here in just a minute, but I really wanted to talk about how much fun I'm having with this and such an awareness. Well, it's not just all about me, but maybe it is. I don't know. But is just how I'm really paying attention and moving through the day. And I think, I've mentioned a few things on the 65 and Wake Up about, I go through my day so fast and I'm moving from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, right? And so I go into T-Mobile and it was so funny because actually I was sitting with Tom, and I said, I got to run over to T-Mobile. And so I go in there, and I'm like, and he fixes it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, thanks. And I left, and I thought, I didn't even have a conversation with the guy. You know, I didn't even do the interview or start anything, though I've seen him over there a bunch of times. And so I can, you know, I'm always in T-Mobile for one thing or another. But, you know, other people, like the lady that I check out with at the grocery store, it's so funny because I know a little bit about her, and I said, well, how's your sister? You live with your sister? And she goes, yes, I have a roommate. And I go, and that's your sister? And she's like, yes, that's my sister. So some people are easier to have those conversations with than others, right? And so anyway, but I think for me, it's bringing such an awareness. I'm great at interviewing when I have an appointment and I sit down and interview somebody. So that's kind of what happened today. I met this lady at this networking event. Oh, I'm going to mute it. I don't know if everybody's muted. Hold on here. Let me do that really quick. Anyway, I met this lady a few weeks ago at a networking event, and I think I showed on Facebook. I've added some names to this, so I'm getting close to filling up all the circles, right? So anyway, I met her, and she's one of these names down here, and we just kept looking at each other, and I kept saying, you look so familiar to me. And she goes, well, you look familiar to me too. And I said, well, then I think we should have coffee. And so she's like, yeah, definitely. And so we, scheduled coffee today. And so I mentioned a little bit about the interview on the page, but we started talking. The first thing we wanted to figure out how we knew each other. And, it turned out that I worked for this medical manufacturing company, and she was the photographer, and we had a great conversation, and how we both went from these different, I own my own marketing and advertising business, to working with her, who was a photographer, to now we're both doing nutrition, which was kind of a weird path, right? But we had so much in common, so many things to talk about, and it was just fun. And but it was so funny because she goes, yeah, I remember that company. I used to do a lot of photo shoots for them. And then there was this one lady, I think her name was Marianne, and I did a photo shoot on her husband's red Corvette, and she had this black dress on, and I'm like sitting there, I'm going like, that was me, that was me. And she's like, really? And so then that just changed this whole dynamics, right, of this conversation, because then we realized that we knew each other and had worked with each other a few years earlier, or a few years, like 20 years ago or more. And so anyway, we just like hit it off, and we'll be friends forever. And she's like, oh, I want to send you some information, about what she's doing. And I was talking to her about some of the stuff I'm doing. And so I'm going to send her some, some of our stuff. And so anyway, it was just so much fun. And I think just being a part of this 65 and Alive, or 65 and Wake Up, that's what Tom keeps calling it, 65 and Alive. But anyway, oh, there's Denise. Anyway, so I just think being part of this is just raising my awareness. Is it doing that for you guys? Yeah, just really, yeah. Oh, and I got D Blackburn's in the background here. And so I love this because it's just making me pay attention, right? It's making me realize what's going on. Denise, you're there. Do you want to say something? Do you want me to unmute you? No, she's like, no. What time? What? Oh, no.
Oh, not really.
Well, I said last week something was funky with my computer. And every time I tried to mute somebody or something, it was like slow motion. It kept giving me the little wheel, And so when somebody would be talking, I'd be trying to like select the screen, and then finally it would select it, and then someone else would be talking. I was like, oh no.
See, even when you're a techno wizard like Marianne, you have techno.
I wanted to restart, but Tom said, no, we can't do it because we're already in the middle of the meeting. All right. So I was just telling him how excited I am and how this is really pumping me up to be a lot more aware of my interviews throughout the day. And I don't know if you saw my post today, but it was such an interesting interview because this lady and I couldn't figure out how we knew each other, and then we'd worked together like 20 years ago or whatever.
That's awesome. Yeah. The awareness is interesting because awareness on both sides, like, right? Like, you know, awareness that you're working and creating action, and awareness that you're not, which is totally, you know, I had to start over. What's today? Tuesday. I had to start over yesterday because you know, I totally missed on the weekend. And so I'm starting back at the square one, starting over at 66. I don't know, do you go 66 and back, or do you go one anyway? So anyway, I'm starting over. And so that's just reality. You know, I guess in Al-Anon, we talk about progress and not perfection, right? And so it really, you know, this is a practice. And I think that when we make it a game and not make it like another excuse to beat ourselves up, then that's the important piece, because there's enough to beat ourselves up over during the day. You know, and being hard on ourselves and not feeling like we're doing enough and not achieving enough. And, you know, and so that was my number one wish and number one conversation with Tom, is that I wanted it to be fun, and I wanted it to be supportive. I didn't want it to be, I actually fought against the starting over piece, because, you know, it makes me feel like being in school, you know, and I was a very good student in school, but I swear to God, I still have nightmares about missing a final in college, you know, not showing up. And so I don't really want to go through any more tests in my life. And so if I think about this as a test, it doesn't work for me. If I think about it as a game, or about as an experience, about sharing my you know, strengths, and sharing, you know, my authenticity around the fact that it's, you know, I may be a certain rank in longevity, but I'm certainly not perfect in any way, you know. And so this is a practice for me too. And I hope that my authenticity will help, you know, motivate and inspire you guys too. So yes, that's my experience today, Marianne.
Oh, well, here's what I wanted to say, because I appreciate that. I appreciate your authenticity always. But, you know, I think when you listen to people who have been in network marketing for a long time, and I mean, even the Eric Worreys and, you know, other top leaders and stuff, it was never all perfect, right? They're always learning and growing and expanding, and you know, we were talking about like having that one magic script, you know, where there isn't one, and you have to be, you know, have those conversations and meet people where they're at, right? We talk about that all the time. So, you know, even my experience with this lady today, she knew I did longevity because I met her at a networking event, right? And she does nutrition, and she has some degree. And while she had kind of heard about, you know, Dr. Wallach, she's doing her own thing, and she can't participate. You know, she told me I can't participate in a network marketing business, even though I never asked her to, or, you know, suggested it or anything. But, you know, we talked a lot about the health of our nation and, you know, different things. And so she goes, oh, I would love to send this, you know, thing over to you. And I mentioned something about our 12 bad foods video, and she thought that was awesome, right? So I'm going to share that with her. And whether we ever really do business together, I don't know. But what an amazing, you know, reconnection of someone. And had I not been, you know, in this 65 and awake, I might not have reached out to her and extend, you know what I mean? Because she's in nutrition competition, right? But instead I was like, hey, that's another interview.
Yeah, it's like, what do you have to lose? You know, have a conversation.
Yeah.
No, and the conversations are so fun. And, you know, I think that when you look at it that way, where there's a lightheartedness around it, then it becomes fun.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that it's like we have, I mean, a lot of people on the Zoom have, you know, they have a full-time job already. And so, you know, we want to not have this be like, you know, but it is intense. And I think it's good that it's intense. You know, I think one of the challenges, I think, is that, you know, like Eric Worre says that you can create a campaign for your group. And the more intense the campaign, then the shorter time it should be. So everybody can really just, you know, pedal to the metal. I was going to say something else. Pedal to the metal, and, you know, do something like, you know, really intense for 10 days. And he says, you know, 30 days is really the maximum that somebody can really just go all out. And so I think that 66 days is definitely a push. And but if we look at it that, you know, that we're here to support each other, and it's all learning. And if you take it like that, then, you know, come on, let's do it. Where's Tom? I hear you on there, Tom. I hear him in the other room.
How could you hear me?
Oh my God. I yelled at him earlier. I'm like, he talks so loud. I was on the phone with Excel. Was it Excel? Yeah. And I couldn't even hear the prompts. I had to hang up.
That's when I posted how much of an energy sucker I am on Facebook.
It's not energy sucker. It's energy overwhelmer.
What? No. So
yes. You don't suck it out. You overpower it.
I don't. But you're making me think.
Oh, so, good. That's the good, I think.
What's that?
I think that's good.
Okay, so here's the deal. I used to drink alcohol every day of my life. Every day. And I finally crawled into AA. And I couldn't fathom. I was there for like 17 hours straight, and I looked at my watch, and I'd been in that room for 10 minutes. It was a 1 hour meeting, and 17 hours went by, and it was 10 minutes into the 1 hour. And I thought, how am I ever going to live through that hour with all of those boring people? And then they got done with that meeting finally after 17 hours, and I said, now what do I do? And they said, come back tomorrow. I go, what? And I said, what else? And they said, don't drink between meetings. And I go, that's the secret? And they go, yeah, that's the secret. You just have to come back here for 90 meetings in 90 days, every day, and don't drink between meetings, and you're going to get a handle on this. And I said, that's just not possible. I'm way too busy. You don't have any idea how important I am. I am a stockbroker. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a businessman. I'm this. I'm that. And they go, so what? You had time to drink. Make sure you come back tomorrow. And I went, you got to be kidding me. So the next thing I know, I came back tomorrow. And then I came back tomorrow. And then I came back tomorrow. And after a week, every day for that whole month, just like you guys are doing in 65 and a Wake Up, they can continue to say, congratulations. And I'm trying to respond to every one of you, no matter where your streak is. I'm trying to say to you, congratulations. You've got 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, because those are the important, hardest times. You are learning to reinvent yourself as a network marketer right now. And these are the toughest times. You have no idea. And then after 30 days, man, they just went crazy. They're clapping. But you know what? They didn't clap loud enough, because I just can remember thinking, man, They don't have any idea how hard that was, man. And then after 60 days, they clapped like crazy. And after 90 days, and after 6 months, and after a year, and after 18 months, and I just looked, 28 years, 7 months, and 24 days in a row. Bam, right down the highway, that long. Why? Because I developed that muscle 66 days in a row. And you're darn right I fell off that horse plenty of times. You're darn right I put, people would go, don't worry about it. Just get back on the horse. And I'd say, well, do I have to change my sobriety date? This is terrible. Please don't make me. All I had was 1 beer. And they said, you bet your roots, Toots. You have to reset it. Whether you like it or not, reset the sobriety date. And you know what? I know that every one of you don't like resetting that date. I know it for sure. And the one that suffered the most, I walked into the living room tonight and I said, what are you going to tell him? And she said, I'm going to tell him the truth. I'm going to tell him the truth. I got to tell him that I have to reset my sobriety date. That girl right there. But it took integrity. It took courage. It took truth. And even Denise had to reset it. I might have to reset it. That's how hard this is. And I am a professional network marketer. But I know so many of you have been struggling for years on how to develop this muscle. And I am convinced beyond did you really ask me that? Denise just asked me, where is she? She just sent me a private message and asked me if I was totally on for all the days. And the answer is yes. And here's the deal. If you do 14 interviews in a week and you've got it documented and you can show it, that's good enough for me. And several of that's not good enough in AA, but that's good enough in this deal. You're bouncing that basketball, and I know a couple of you have had a Sunday off or something like that. But I am going to tell you, that is okay by me. So if you can do 6 interviews in one day to make up for a couple of days that you lost or a couple of days that you're going to lose, it's good by me. But I want you to know the reason we're doing this. I mean, just think about this. Tom, don't drink alcohol, don't do drugs, and you're going to have a great life. Well, no, can't stay sober. I'm going to drink. No, look, Tom, your house is getting foreclosed on. You're losing your marriage and your children. Just don't drink alcohol. I could not get it till I got it. It's going to be the same way here. If you guys will just trust me and you will follow this process, and I know several of you are dying to speak up and tell me what happened to you, because Pamela Schwartz just hit the nail on the head. If not for the accountability situation like this, productive days can disappear because circumstance is going to overwhelm you. Every one of you have lives. Every one of you have other things going on. Every one of you have something that is going to get in the way. But you know what? Nothing should get in the way. And did you guys want to thank me for TomChenaultZoom.com instead of having to figure out how? Yeah, a round of applause. It was unbelievably hard to do, just to figure out and do the whole shot. Here's how I did it. Hey, Mary Ann, can you figure out an easier way? And so give Mary Ann a round of applause, too. And I wheeled it off of that health interview that Denise did, where Mary Ann figured out that AskDenise.com, AskDenise.net, and it worked like a charm. And so, Randy, I love you, buddy. It's so good to see your face. I can't believe it. He's a fellow spirit of mine. I see Lars Tanner in here. He's one of my buddies too. But man, I am telling you, network marketing is doing the same thing over and over and over again and creating duplication. And if I can teach you this, I can teach everybody this. And it all goes down to the fabulous, where's my brick? Oh no, somebody swiped my brick. My brick's been stolen again. No, it hasn't. Here's my brick. It all goes down to the brick rank. And the brick rank is this.
Nobody wants your brick.
Anybody that wants to buy this brick should. So here's the deal about the brick. Every one of you can build this brick. The brick is this. Senior Associate in Longevity. 200 QV with 3 people underneath you doing 100 each and 1,000 in your first 3 levels is the brick rank. What does that mean? That means that each and everybody, even Robert Blackman, could build a brick. So that's that simple. And once you build a brick, once you are a brick, you've done 200, you've got 3 people underneath you doing 100 apiece, you know darn well you can build another brick. In fact, you know that you can build 4 bricks. So all of a sudden you've got a wall starting to get built with 4 bricks. And once you do that, you know you can teach people to build bricks. And the next thing you know, you build a brick wall. Longevity's brick rank is senior associate because anybody can do it that wants to. So all you need to do is teach people. It isn't 1 star. 1 star is too big for literally everybody. I want a rank out there that is just the right size for every one of us. This brick rank right here is duplicatable at the lowest common denominator. So does anybody want to speak up and tell us how it's going, trial and tribulation? I'm going to start it with Pamela Schwartz. She went to Harvard. She is way, way overeducated here, and it is absolutely as bad as being Dr. Peter Glidden, Dr. Ben Fuchs, Richard Renton, Dr. Wallach, or any one of the other chiropractors or anything else that has a degree, Robin Tanner health degree, because you guys know as well as I do that your biggest curse in longevity is that title, because everybody wants to tell you about their sore toe, and all you want to do is go out there and build a business. So being a complete and total high school dropout has been my greatest asset in longevity. Isn't that cool? Nobody, how long has it been since somebody looked at your report card, Lanny Sharp? A long time. Benjamin Franklin was the last time. It was a while ago. So, Pamela Schwartz, put your head back a little bit so we're getting a lot less face and there you go, right there. Okay, so now tell us a story. How's it going?
Well, it's really interesting that you
turn your microphone up.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. The interesting thing is I just had a conversation last night with Roxana Puza, and we were talking about the difficulty of being a healthcare professional in this industry, because people have an expectation that they have to be me in order to be successful. And so that was where we both agreed that this new health evaluation questionnaire is really, really great, because it takes the onus off of people. It allows people to truly be the messenger and not the message. And that I'm really excited to help with some of my team members so that they have an ability to be able to get out there and share with the passion they have for helping people without having to worry about being somebody who has had all this medical background experience and understands how the body functions and why things do what they do. They can just say, hey, you know what? This stuff worked for me. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but would you mind taking this questionnaire, because it's going to tell you what it is that you're deficient in that could really help benefit you if you were to add those things into your daily routine. And it makes it easier for them.
And what's been present for you as you're trying to interview 2 people a day in 3-way one?
What's been present for me? What do you mean? What's been present for me?
I mean, have you felt stopped? Have you felt invigorated? Have you realized that it's a bigger mountain to climb or a smaller mountain to climb?
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, just so you know, I am a member of the Rooms. I've been through Al-Anon because one of my ex-husbands was an alcoholic, and unfortunately he is now deceased. He passed away because of it. So this is really encouraging for me because of that one day at a time mentality. So if we can get through one day at a time, then we can do the whole thing. It's just, okay, I get up in the morning and I say, this is my plan. And that's why today I had posted, this is what my intention is. This is what my plan is. Let's see how things change, because sometimes the ones that you think you're going to work with are not the ones that happen at all. But then all of a sudden stuff comes out that you weren't even expecting to happen. And so it's really kind of a cool thing to watch if you allow the process to happen instead of trying to make the process happen, and you just spend the time loving on people and caring about people and take the pressure off of yourself. You are thereby taking the pressure off of them, because otherwise we feel like we are the snake oil salesman and they feel like we are the snake oil salesman, and that's not what this is all about.
And it is so, isn't it just unbelievably refreshing for you, like it is for me, that you don't have to look at every living human being like a prospect anymore?
No, and it really helps me to go back to my true nature of loving people, and I get teased all the time because I talk to everybody. So it's just one of those natural things that I love people and I love to find out about people, and it's taken the pressure off. Whereas before, I think I really was truly trying to sell to them more. And now I'm getting back to just really being a caring individual.
So you're living in a conversation and forcing you constantly to be interested, not interesting, and what's in it for them instead of what's in it for Pamela with her sneaky little agenda that she thinks nobody's going to know about, right?
Right.
Isn't that fantastic, you guys? That's what this is all about. And if you start documenting, and if you guys will notice, I'm trying to respond to every one of you that have the guts to post what's going on with you, good or bad, in 65 and a Wake Up. But what's really there for me is watching you fight through it and watching you do a quarter of an interview, a half an interview, a full interview, and see it not working for you. But what I'm begging you to do, there's no failing this test. What I'm begging you to do is document like crazy, because you are learning so much about these people that you don't even realize. It's unbelievable, right, Pamela?
Yeah, there was one day where I really thought I was going to have to go back to the first day. And it was really devastating because I became emotionally attached to the outcome of somebody. And it kind of, again, it's a tempering. It's about learning about what the boundaries are and not getting invested that deeply that people are in control of their own situation. But what I did is I went back to the idea program and I said, okay, it back those days, it would be, who's the sponsor? Who do I talk to? And we are all each other's sponsors in this particular forum. But then you also have other sponsors. And for that morning when that came up and it was so brutally upsetting to me, my husband was there for me and my kids were there. And then I went to my upline and then I just went back in and I said, I will not let this take control of me. And so then that's when it shifted and I was like, I can do this. I'm not going to have to go back to square one because I'm not giving up.
Isn't that cool? Do you guys get that? It's you. She's you. Now, how long have you been stuck at 1-star executive?
I have been 1-star executive every single month for 3 years from the day we came in with the Beyond Organic family. Now, I give myself praise because I do get my rank every month, but hot diggity dog, I'd really like to get up to 2-star.
But as much advice as you were getting, it was impossible to push that pig through the python snake to become somebody that you aren't, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now can't you see your way to become not only a 2, but a 5-star?
Absolutely.
That's what's here, you guys. Every one of you. And there's not one of you. If you knew, just think about what I'm trying to tell you. If you knew what I do, if you know what I know, which is this will work for you. And that if you truly believed it in your core, and all you had to do was this every day to get our life, you would do that in a heartbeat. So you have to say to yourself, where's that breakdown so I can have that breakthrough? And what was happening to you was you weren't getting access to that breakdown, I don't think, because it was too easy to hide. But now all of us are accountable to one another, so there's no hiding out. And the more that you go into 65 and a Wake Up, the more that you're going to start seeing yourself breaking through instead of breaking down. And if you don't have any idea, and I'm looking at poor Randy again, and I just have a feeling he can't figure out how the heck to get into 65 and a wake up. If you'll just go to the chat over here on the side and say, put me in, Marianne will put you in as, I didn't make Marianne an administrator. And the reason I swear, I did not make Marianne an administrator because I was so petrified she'd cheat. Because there is I swear, sorry, Marianne, this is true confessions. The reason I did that was because I didn't want anybody to get that hall pass and to sell yourself out. And those of you that are trying to join it now are getting 3 questions. And I don't know if anybody's had to come through those 3 questions anymore, but I'm actually making you admit that this is hard work and that very few people make money and can do it. Number 2, that you can't make product claims or income claims. And number 3, that you will commit to becoming a professional network marketer and doing 2 interviews a day, doing 1 3-way call, and supporting your team for 66 days straight. I'm making you actually sign that. I have no idea how I would cheat. You would add Kira and Reese. That's what I mean. You would add your kids. I mean, everybody wants to stick somebody in to hope that they get this by osmosis without a commitment. And this is about commitment, and it's about integrity, and it's about commitment to yourself. I mean, I gain nothing from this. All I gain is that warm, fuzzy feeling that I know each and every one of you at the end of this conversation are going to become a professional network marketer, and I'm going to hand you a free ticket, and Denise is going to hand you a free ticket to Go Pro Women or Go Pro, the big one. We're going to do that because we believed in you, you believed in yourself, and together we did it. That's what that's all about. Who's got something to say? Anybody? Anybody want to say anything? Come on now. Denise, say something. I'm talking too much. I'm sucking their energy out of them. Robert Blackman, say something. Robert Blackman is an icon in network marketing. I mean, unmute him. Robert, you got him, Mary, on page 1, wearing the baseball hat. You might have a beard. It looks terrible. How you doing, Robert?
How you doing, buddy?
Never better. How you doing?
Well, I just saw this thing that you were doing, and I just decided to get plugged in. And the funny thing is, I'm kind of doing something similar with what you're trying to do, but I'm going to join the group with you guys and plug in. There's so many trainers out there, and there's so many gurus, there's so many people selling stuff that I've gotten really frustrated with it for my team getting distracted. And I said, I'm preaching to my team to stop listening to all these other trainers, but there's nothing wrong with that. But most of them aren't building a downline today. And again, there's nothing wrong with learning from everybody. So I'm learning from everybody, but I decided I'm going to start listening to my upline, my growing upline. And so I decided if I wanted my team to stop doing all the things I didn't want them to do, that I was actually going to have to do it. So tonight I'm getting on the call with you guys. Here I just came back from the YMCA, so I'm not all dressed up and everything. But I decided that I was going to start plugging into you, Tom, because your downline's bigger than mine. And I want my downline to be bigger, right? And it's that whole thing of your circle of influence. The problem with guys like me that have been around a long time, we know too much. I need a lobotomy sometimes. I need to forget everything that I've learned. And it's hard for us sometimes to find the fire again. And so I've decided that I'm going to tell all of my team to follow this. And if I get 1 or 2 of them, that'll be great. But I know I'm going to, because I need to learn from somebody who's doing what I want to be doing in longevity specifically. And again, there's nothing wrong with learning from everybody, but I'm going to be listening to Tom and Denise so we can get our business to another level. It's been, we hit a level and then we just stopped and it kind of went back down. So I'm trying to, and it's like Hercules, and I feel like I'm doing it all alone, and it gets frustrating because nobody on the team is following because everybody stopped. When I stopped, everybody stopped. It's like that train, and now I'm going again and nobody's following me. And so that's frustrating. So I decided, well, I gotta be humble. I've got to do what I'm telling my team to do. So that's why I'm here tonight.
Oh my God. You guys have no idea. So how many books have you written?
3.
Okay. And you've made tens of thousands a month in multi-level marketing, correct?
Yeah, we probably made 12 million in our career. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, and Robert used to be in longevity and was making 6 figures.
Yeah.
And decided to go kiss another frog that was a much better looking frog that was going to turn into a much better looking princess. And then that didn't work out so well, so he started just kissing frogs like it was going out of style. And
Yeah.
I ran into him a few months ago, and his quote was, "I'm done kissing frogs." And here's longevity. And you just get this, you guys. Very beautiful girl in a pretty ugly dress most of the time. But most of the companies are really, longevity's a really pretty girl in an ugly dress. But most of the other companies are really ugly girls in pretty dresses. Would you agree with that, Robert?
I would. And you know, what's funny to me is that that this was an evolution. When you had Dave Brisky on Zoom, and you know, and I met Dave for the first time last September at the convention in Salt Lake City, and I'd met Steve before, but it had been years ago. And just watching Dave Brisky talk about coffee, I sat there and I literally started getting re-excited about the business again, because I didn't know we owned a plantation. I didn't know we had our own roaster. I didn't know that our coffee, because we joined the coffee club, and we got it, and it had been roasted like 12 days earlier, and I just go, and I've always been a coffee guy. So we developed a website, and we started just promoting the coffee club. And that's where my interviews have been, is I decided to focus on one part of longevity that I'm excited about is coffee. And so Dave Brisky got me excited because I got to listen to him, the COO. And for me, I've been in this business for 36 years, and I want to stop joining companies. All right. I want to have this check from longevity or the money that comes in from ProPay. Our goal is that when Sherry opens up ProPay on the 15th of the month, it covers all the bills. That's what she and I are working towards together, is how can we work together to make longevity pay all of our bills, so I don't get caught up in consulting. I don't get caught up in copywriting or this other deal over here. And the reason I do all those things is to pay my bills that are so high after 36 years, there's no way to lower them. It's easier to make more money than to cut the money back. And so for me, I've been very excited to see Dave get reignited, and you reignited Tom, and that's reignited me.
And here's the beauty of that, you guys. What you just heard him talk about was his why. He's got that so defined, John Funk. He's got that so defined, Peggy Gleason. He's got that so defined, Chaisa, that nothing's going to stop him from hitting it. And what I want you guys to do is focus on that, because there's days out there that even Denise didn't want to go to interview 2 and 3-way 1. And she had to jump back on the horse. Lanny is the only one on this call with an excuse, because she's literally interviewed everybody in Oakley, Kansas. There's nobody left. She's got them all, because she lives in a town of 60 people and she's out. So we got to teach that old dog some new tricks. But the fact is, every one of us can do this. There's not one of us, but you can't listen to me, because I'm too intense. I'm too much of a crazy maker. It's not me. It's got to be you guys helping each other. That's that simple. Does that make sense to you? Good God, look at my hair. I look like Bob Crisp. That's terrible. You got to change that. So that's ridiculous.
Don't cry. Don't start crying, because every time Bob makes me cry.
Okay, that's so funny. Okay. Well, now I'm back to normal again. Gee, many Christmas. I looked so bad earlier after my short nap that I just had it looked like a Donald Trump comb over gone bad that was straight up. And so it was so bad. Even I screamed when I look in the mirror. So I ran up. That's why I was a little late. I had to take a shower. But You guys, if this isn't fun, you don't do it. But the minute it's not fun, it's because, oh my God. Okay, if you guys think you can't do this business, if you think you can't do this business because you've got some handicap, whatever it is, I want you to, Marianne, go down and unmute Meryl Schlechter. I want you to just go down, and she's right there. She's on camera. You'll find her. Meryl Schechter. You got her? Tell me when you have her. If you guys think that this business is too doggone hard because you're dealing with a deck of cards that you can't deal with, you got to remember Meryl, because Meryl Schlechter is the greatest woman in the world. Every time I walked into a room of 1,400 people, 2,200 people a couple of days ago, and all I heard, Marianne, did you find her? Meryl, she's on camera. She's on page 1 for me. Meryl Schlechter. She's with Peggy Gleason.
Yeah, she's right next to Peggy.
And Cynthia. You're going to have to make me an administrator one of these days, and I'll make you an administrator. We're trying to unmute you, Meryl. So all of a sudden, with 2,200 people,
I'm right here.
Meryl,
There she is.
all I heard was,
Hi, Tom. Tom, I'm right here.
how are you,
Hi,
Meryl?
Meryl.
Hi, I'm awesome. How are you?
I am fantastic. I've never been so happy to see anybody in my life.
Thank you, Tom, so much. Thank you. God bless you.
You can move back from the camera a little bit, okay?
Oh, okay.
A little farther. Now everybody can see you. Good. Meryl is sightless. So Meryl is the greatest. She is at every convention. She's at every meeting. She is the energy. She wants to be big in longevity like you've never seen before. And she flew all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast for Dr. Ariaz's event, didn't you, Meryl?
Yes, I did.
And what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a professional network marketer.
Yes, you were, and that's what we are committed to you being, and that's why we are going to get you in 65 and a wake up, and we're all going to personally mentor you to get there from here, because I am telling you, you exemplify what is great about network marketing. Did you know that?
That's an honor. Thank you so much, Tom. That really is.
And how was your birthday party?
Oh, it was awesome. We had a DJ. We had different people from the American Council of the Blind, which is an advocacy, a national organization. And we also had a couple of retired people from my job at Social Security. And I retired on January 3rd, and I'm 100% focused on longevity.
I love you. And
That's awesome, Meryl.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you.
she recognizes voices like you've never seen before, you guys. And she's adorable and kind, and you would never know that she wasn't playing with all the cards that everybody on this call has. So we have no excuses. She's got a why. Marianne, you got to send her a note. I owe her some money, because I told her. I listened to her laughing. The only reason she's on here is because I owe her money.
No, that is not.
I was a feeble attempt at humor, but I want to send her a check so we can get her to, because of her birthday party, because she's such a sweet woman, and I love her. So thank you, Meryl, for coming on.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Denise and Marianne, too.
All right, that's beautiful.
Love you, Meryl.
Love you.
We love you, Meryl.
Thank you so much.
All right, so back to it, you guys. It is not, I don't care who you are. And Robin Tanner, would you unmute yourself? Because I know you've had some success. And John and Sherry Funk, I want you guys to unmute too, because I know that you're in this game. I know it's unfamiliar to you, and I know that it's working for you, and I'm happy about that. Robin, how are you?
I'm happy, Tom, Denise, Marianne. I'm so grateful for this group.
How's it feeling?
It's mind-blowing what's happening. Yes, I'm in healthcare, and so my orientation is always to listen for health needs, whether it's a person or an animal. And this is teaching me a whole new way of being. It's really amazing.
And you're able to go places that you never thought possible in your circle of influence.
Yeah.
Have powerful conversations where you aren't the expert anymore.
Right.
You're so used to being the expert. Your problem was you had trouble being with not being the expert and letting somebody else be the hero of the conversation, didn't you?
Yes.
Isn't that cool that now you're just this child of God helping people?
Yes.
And letting people buy what they want instead of you having an agenda for them. It's beautiful. I'm watching you. I'm watching this thing evolve for you, and it's making me cry, literally, because I see you. I'd like to get Dr. Glidden in here. I'd like to get Ben Fuchs, and even those people that have been looking for the freedom to be here, because you're able to develop leadership, because you're able to actually ask people what they want out of longevity instead of using your medical training to be able to, foist upon them. That is very, very cool. I'm watching Rebecca nod her head. That's beautiful. John Funk, car salesman, had a big job. Previous to that, he sold cars, and I'm having a hell of a time with John because I'm trying to get him to fire the salesman hat and hire the hat called being interested in developing the relationship and not go into that sales mode so fast, because that is the killer, because a guy like him and a guy like me are trained to get the order. But the order in this business isn't the order. It's just the order. But the relationship and the development of the person to something bigger is something that takes a little more time, but you're ripping yourself off by just getting the order, and you're learning that, right, John?
Yes, most definitely, Tom.
And it's you have permission to talk more than that.
Okay, thank you. I'm actually following my wife's footsteps, and she couldn't be here tonight because she's off to a meeting. We had 3 meetings today. She's on the 3rd one. I decided to stay home and do this and help with the kids.
Yeah. And how's that feel, working with your wife every day? You guys both developing your path, kind of like Denise and I in this, figuring out what each are good at. And can you see the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow here?
Oh, most definitely. I'm breaking down myself. We just went to a neighborhood barbecue, and I just sat there and I watched a lot of people and talked to a lot of people, and they were doing all the talking and not me, and it was great. So it's hard to shut up and listen. So you've taught me that, Tom.
Yeah, and that's tough. That's the toughest part, because our biggest defense is our mouth moving. And what's crazy about this thing is the power of this business, which will be trained by Robert Blackman and everybody else. The power of this business is in the questions that you ask. And there's 2 things that are critically important, and I can't see anybody on here that would validate this. But people are literally astounded at how good a listener I am. They are flipped out because they can't believe that I pay attention to them at the level that I do. But I do. I listen unbelievable. I don't listen as hard as Merrill, but I listen really hard. And another guy that listens really, really hard is Scott Fardulis. And the reason Scott Fardulis listens so hard is because he has to. He's reading your lips because he's almost deaf. And you guys didn't even know that. How cool is that?
Okay, he's only deaf in one ear.
That's at least 50%. That's awesome.
He's partially deaf in what I think that would probably equate to being like 25% deaf if you're partially deaf in one ear.
Okay, so how deaf would I be in a foreign country like England?
What?
How deaf am I in?
Is this a riddle?
When they speak English, what happens all the time?
Oh, you don't listen. You're terrible.
You guys can't believe it. The guys, anytime.
Australia, London, New Zealand.
Almost everywhere we go, I have to go to
I
Denise,
become the interpreter,
and they're speaking English. It's hilarious.
which I've had to say on several occasions.
It is so odd, but that's the way it goes. But here's the deal, you guys.
You don't have a listening problem, you have an attention problem.
No, I don't. I'm a great listener. Okay, so here's the deal, you guys. And the reason we're talking is because I want this to be so fun for you. And if you can't feel it's fun.
Okay, bring on the fun. Where's the bloody fun?
What'd you say?
I said, where's the bloody fun? Bring on the fun.
And if it's not fun, you need to call me on the phone. You need to interview your upline. You need to interview. In fact, there was a woman a little while ago. She's underneath Pamela. What's her name? She was so frustrated the other day at not being able to interview anybody. She interviewed, great woman on the East Coast. I can't think of her name off the top. She interviewed her 5.5-year-old and 7-year-old because she did not want to lose the groove. Colleen. Is that the coolest thing you've ever heard? She interviewed her small kids because,
I got to get some dogs.
Yeah, so interview the German Shepherd. Develop the muscle called asking questions and listening to the answers. And you're going to learn to ask great questions. But the key to this thing is learning to powerfully listen to the great questions that you ask. And then you drop people at the health evaluation. And if you don't know what the health evaluation is, just go to askdenise.com, DENICE.com. You'll see her snazzy website. Or askdenise.net, and you'll see that health evaluation that they send to. And then you go to whatever Marianne's going to post right now to get one of those for yourself. And Marianne, also for Robert Blackman, post that new website called his new coffee website also. So yeah, there you go. Marianne said Sherry and John did a presentation to the kids and the stuffed animals. Because you gotta that's what's so cool. You can't screw that up. But if you're asking questions, you can't screw it up for anybody, Alan Miller or Vincent Cunningham or Bill Richardson or Sharon. And here's what I heard from Alex Tice today. He was talking about somebody named Dee Watkins, a woman, and I don't know whose organization she is in, but we've got to get her here. She hadn't signed up anybody in 2017 for like the first 3 months. And then she did that contest with Alex Tyson, those guys, and she made 1 star, and she just made 3 star. Why? Because she finally believed she could do it. That's what's there for you guys. If you believe me, if you believe that you can that you can be a brick and become the former executive marketing director, now called senior associate, you believe you can do this, and you can go build 4 bricks, you can teach people to build bricks, it's all over. You've got 4 people on your top line that are going to turn into 16, that are going to turn into 64, that are going to turn into 256, that are going to turn into 1,024 on your 5th level, that are going to turn into 4,096 on your 5th level, on your 6th level. And then you're going to have a life like Denise and I, which we desperately want for all of you. But it starts with you believing what's coming out of your mouth. It starts with you registering for the convention in September. We just found out there's so many people that have responded to Denise and I having a room, and what we're gonna train is the copy shop interview tied to the brick rank to help you build a solid foundation and longevity. They've got so many people that have already asked to be on it, they've just given us a second room, 2 in a row, because it's gonna be so overfilled, no matter how big the room is, because this works. Because you guys can do this. You can do it 4 times. You can teach people to do it. And the next thing you know, every one of you have your health, every one of you have your time, and every one of you have your life. That's what I want for you. So if anybody got questions before we get you out of here? Anybody? So the websites that you need, mastersoфenrollment.com. thecopyshopinterview.com. Those are 2 of them. What's the name of Cheryl Morley's star school?
Healthevaluationsystem.com.
Healthevaluationsystem.com. And what is it for their blogs, their star school deal?
Their
starschoolblog.com. And what I love about starschoolblog.com is Paul Croto and Cheryl are basically product junkies, which are great because I'm not. And then their training is all of Eric Worre stuff. So I love that. Now, Scott Fardulis tomorrow morning is doing a big webinar on his system. And that system that those guys are doing that take you all the way through leads and lead generation and all kinds of jazz is pretty, what do I want to use the word? What do the kids call? Dope. It's pretty dope. So I don't even know what dope means.
No, not you.
That means really cool or nice. But at the end of the day, I was trying to be hip there. But at the end of the day, we'll find that too. Is that called YGY Builder, Marianne? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, YGY Builder.
So Robert Blackman, look at that lancejavolution.com because that's his website for the coffee, which makes no sense because nobody knows how to spell Javolution. So the one that they're making for me tomorrow, coffee website, is TomChenaultCoffee.com, like TomChenaultZoom.com. And pretty quick, I'll get a health evaluation that'll say Tom Chenault, whatever. But I'm just making sure people remember my name, and people are finally starting to be able to spell it because I keep forcing you to do it. So the fact of the matter is, I know you all look at all you guys looking not at the camera, but stop looking at the chat box and writing all that down. You're not even paying attention. So anyway, I know you can do this. I know you can do this. This is it. This is your time. And let us hold you accountable. And those of you that are doing it, be a Pamela Schwartz. Those of you that are doing it, be a Robin Tanner. Good, Cindy. And coach people. So Cindy is on there, Marianne. Find her. She was right there by Meryl. And unmute her. I believe in you guys with more than you believe in yourself. You can take that one to the bank. Cindy, can you hear me yet? Take it to the bank. I can see it. Cindy, you're on me. Go ahead.
After you get somebody signed up, where's the first place you send them?
So signed up is a terrible word.
Okay, once you get somebody enrolled and want to do it as a business, where is the first place you want to send them?
Okay, I would send them to Masters of Enrollment because we're going to tell them to build. You look good. How you doing?
Great.
How's those cats?
Oh, heathens.
Okay, good. Okay, so tell me a story. So once you send them to Masters of Enrollment or send them to Star School Blog. That's a good business building site too. Okay. But at the end of the day, whose organization are you in?
Cindy, in Masters of Enrollment, there is a section that Marianne and I did on getting someone started.
Okay, I've seen it.
It's called the Getting Started Simple. What is it called, Mary? The Simple Getting Started System. It has those words in it. They may be changed around, but basically that's it.
But you basically want to, I swear to you this is true, you basically want to teach them this coffee shop interview as fast as you can. You want them building a list and showing them how to interview and dropping people off where they want to be, because otherwise you are acting, everybody else is telling you to use the 3-foot rule and throw up on people in the coffee shop. And that's
what Marianne and I train on in those videos.
What?
You've ever watched them, Tom?
I've watched them a million times. I live in them. So anyway. Yeah. So that's good. All right. What else?
We talked about building a list and the coffee shop interview. And you're absolutely right.
Okay, Kathy Munson, thank you very much. Anybody else got any feedback? Anybody else have anything? You know, in my little circle, I don't have it with me. It's upstairs. Marianne, your master list of leads, where is it? Can you hold it up for people so they can see it? We're almost done, so don't fall asleep, anybody. I just want you to see this stuff because it's crazy how doable this is. Keep your list alive. Keep it fluid. What's happened there?
Mine's written down now.
Yeah, yours is not what I want. I want Marianne's.
I know. She has the circles.
Okay, so and I carry this list. Because what you're trying to do with those 50 names down below is you want them to go, you ultimately want those people off your list. Hold that up. Okay, so you basically want people, you want your business builders going up to your business building matrix there, and then you want those other names going where they want to go. So those names there are either going to be preferred customers, they're going to be customers, but what I want your list to do is come to life. And ultimately, your goal, if you're building a business, is hold that thing up. Come on, Marianne, it's not helping me here. So
wait a minute, I see somebody on. I'm kidding.
No, I see somebody. Well, what I wanted to say was that I actually have several lists like this, but this list I developed for the 60
Move your nose down a tiny bit.
What?
Move your nose down about an inch. No, you can put it. I was kidding. You can move the sheet now so you can talk. Holy man. Oh, that was funny.
Oh my gosh.
So talk about that.
Yeah, so I actually have several lists. I have lists that, like, so here, these are people up here, right? Now, these are teams, these are leaders, or, different people on my sheets that were down here, right? They were down here. But like I said, I have several other lists. So I have more than enough people to talk to, for God's sakes. But but moving them up here, right? So most of these people that have ended up on the top started on the bottom. It's pretty crazy.
Okay, well, Cindy, by the way, you've got Lanny Sharp. I mean, I don't think there's anybody better than Lanny Sharp. I mean,
He's awesome.
And then you also got Scott Fardulis. And ultimately, you have Denise and I, which are the lumpiest of all the people that you've got. But you have got an unbelievable support team.
Your wife is not lumpy.
Oh, my wife's not lumpy. I'm lumpy. And Dee Blackburn, why don't you come, before we get out of here, I want Dee to come up and talk. So bring her to the forefront. Will you please, Marianne? I saw her hiding behind you.
Who? Oh, Dee. Oh, yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm hiding behind Marianne.
So you've got a master's.
She's my partner.
So your husband's an architect, and you've got a master's degree. And you desperately want to retire your husband. You desperately want to have enough money for your husband to be able to build your dream home. And that is and you love the baby Jesus with everything you've got and your two children. And so you've got your why defined. The one thing that has stopped you is that master's degree, because it keeps you constantly trying to figure this out instead of taking it to your heart and just pouring the great Dee Blackburn into people, right?
Correct.
Don't tell your face how much fun you're having. So here's the deal. So this isn't something that you can intellectualize. It's got to be in your soul, and it's, and you're doing a hell of a job. So I brought you up here on purpose because you dove off the dock and into the deep water and made a commitment that you're going to make this happen, haven't you?
Correct.
Has there been any speed bumps whatsoever?
Oh, yes.
And how's that working?
I went and talked to a counselor today. No, seriously.
I believe it. And what'd they tell you?
Because the problem is up here. It's not.
And what they said was what?
Well,
I don't know if you want to.
It's personal, but we're working through it.
Are you an alcoholic?
No, I'm not.
All right. So here's the deal, Dee. What just came out of that is you just admitted to everybody on this call that you'll do literally anything to be successful.
Yes, I will.
And that you're going to figure this out come heck or high water.
Yes, because if I can break through this, I can help other people break through.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to fire your brain, hire your heart, and just go with that whole thing that you live with called WWJD. I need you to unmute Blackman again, Marianne. This is going to be fun.
There we go.
Who's that little girl?
This is Annabella Blackman.
Really? And And is she 16?
I lost 2 tooths.
Really?
Wow.
How?
Because they were loose. And I got them out. This one does break this tooth and it was wiggly and I got it out. It was bleeding.
Do you know why teeth fall out?
Uh-huh.
Eating boogers.
Because they're wiggly.
Because they're wiggly.
Eating boogers.
No.
That
That's disgusting, Tom.
And do you love it when
You shouldn't say that because I don't like blue.
Okay, good.
Because they sound gross.
What I love about this business, Robert, is every day is take your children to work day, isn't it?
It is. And pick them up. Pick them up every day. That's the funnest part.
Oh, man.
I'm one of the few dads out there at 3:15, so that's fun.
That's so great.
You go to every sporting event, every PTA meeting, everything because you're a home-based successful businessman.
That's right. Yes.
I love you so much. Thank you, Robert Blackman. Okay, everybody, go to your meetings.
Bye, Annabella.
Bye.
Bye.
We love you all. Thank you very much. We'll see you all next week. I'll do a video for 65 and a Wake Up. If you want to join 65 and a Wake Up and you can't figure out how, contact Marianne and I. We love you.
Love you.
Love y'all. Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you. Thank you, Marianne.
Love you, Marianne.
Thanks, guys.
Love you, Cindy.
Love you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Tom. Bye, Tom. Bye, Denise. Bye, Marianne. Thanks.
Bye, Denise.
Bye, Tom. Thanks. Bye, Denise. Bye, Marianne.
Bye, Meryl.
Aw.
And a Wake Up.
Papa was very good, Chris.